Alright, now to further explain the deck and why I play what I'm playing. Like I said, it's rather untraditional. I'm playing 3 Fire Fist Bears. These are good for when you have a Tinky out on the field, or if you don't have Tinkies out on the field, actually, you bring him out, and as long as he does damage to your opponent's life points, you can search your deck for a Tinky, and then it goes face down on the field and not your hand. Also, Tinkies can be used to search for more Fire Fist cards like this, or just any Beast Warrior type monster, and it makes it really versatile, and you can get monsters on the field and get board control really quick if you open up with the right hand. For the 2 dragons that I'm playing, I don't play any Fire Formation trap cards. I don't see any room for them in my deck. The way I got my current build set up, there is no room for trap cards. The effects on those trap cards really don't help this build at all, and it just slows the deck down. His effect is that if he's already on the field when you activate a Fire Formation spell card, you can search your deck for a Fire Formation trap card and lay it down on the field. Other than that, he's just an 1800 beat stick, and for each Fire Formation spell or trap card you have on the field, depending on its effect, it gets 100 attack per Fire Formation spell card on the field. You can also sacrifice a Tinky. Bear's effect is you can pop a Tinky from your back row and send it to the graveyard to destroy 1 monster on the field, face up or face down. So it's just a good board clear if you're feeling brave. It's for Gorilla. His effect is essentially the same as Bear, but instead of a monster, it pops a back row. And if he destroys a monster, instead of doing damage to your opponent's life points, you can search your deck for a Fire Formation spell or trap card and lay it face down on the field. And if you're curious about why I would play Ryo, is because Ryo prevents you from adding to your hand from your deck. That does not affect the effects of the Fire Fist, since they go face down on the field. They don't go to your hand, so his effect does not apply to that. However, you cannot search and add to your hand. I play 2 fire hands and 2 ice hands. Reason being is because it gives you time. If you're having trouble top decking monsters, it gives speed to your deck, but also at the same time it buys you time to draw the cards you need. Now, unless they play cards like Compulsory Evacuation Device to send it back to your hand so you don't get the effect, or they remove it from play so you don't get the effect, then your wall is practically dead. So I suggest having back row to stop that from happening. I play 1 Coach Soldier Wolfbark. It can, once per turn, you can search 1 Beast Warrior type monster from your graveyard and special summon it to the field in face-up defense position. That monster's effect is negated, but it's basically just a free XYZ. I play 1 Evil Swarm Thunderbird, and the reason why I play that is it's a constant monster on the field. It's a level 4, and any effect that is activated, it doesn't even have to target Thunderbird at all, just any effect, you can remove him from play, and then it comes back after the next draw phase on their main phase. So, and it comes back with 300 additional attack permanently. And I play 1 Karkar D because if you already have the board control you need, and you don't really feel like attacking because you're scared of their back row or you're scared of their front, or you can't do anything against their front row, then this is a good choice to add more cards to your hand to give yourself more options. Any more than this, I think, would slow the deck down. In my personal opinion, it does. And I'm going to move on now to my magic, to my spells. I play 3 Tinkies, like I said, and when you activate a Tinky, you can search your deck for a Beast Warrior type monster, such as Fire Fist monsters, or you can search Wolfbark. I don't recommend fast searching Wolfbark. A lot of people get scared when they don't draw Wolfbark right off the bat, so they'll like Tinky and then search Wolfbark. I don't recommend that. That's a strategy I would use more for middle game, late game of that. So I would suggest when you play a Tinky, getting Dragon, as he would become a 1900 beat stick with the added 100 attack that it gives you. And that would be hard to get over initially after first turn. I play 2 Gyokos because in case like you're having trouble drawing an MST or don't really have anything to get a back row and their back row scares you, you play this. They cannot activate any of their back row in response to this card, and it locks that card so they can't use it until this card leaves the field. And it gives 100 additional attack to any of your Beast Warrior type monsters that you have on the field. It's a nice way to secure their back row without having to worry too much about what they got in store for you back there. I play 1 Tensu because I'm playing 4 axes, and I can't really turn a Tensu into a Tinky like the 3 axes can. So I don't recommend going more than 1 Tensu with this build. I just can't advise it. I play 3 MSTs. Really good for getting rid of the back row, or let's say you have a Fiendish Chain that's taking up your side of the board and it's not attached to anything, but you need the space for a Tinky or another Fire Formation spell card. You can use this to get rid of that and clear up some of your back row. Just a really good card overall, really handy. I play 2 Pot of Dualities. You can't special summon when you do this, so Pot of Duality, let's say you were needing Wolf Bark and you Pot of Duality Wolf Bark. A lot of people forget that they can't special summon, and using Wolf Bark's effect from the graveyard is a special summon. And so I don't recommend choosing Wolf Bark as your card if you get Wolf Bark out of a Pot of Duality. Choose something else that you think would be more useful. Dark Hole, basically for this deck, I consider it more of a panic button. I don't know, what do you think?
For Dark Hole, it's good to get you out of tight situations. Like you said, it's a panic button. But if you're pretty confident with the deck and you maintain control, there's no really need to play Dark Hole. But it's player preference. If you happen to lose control, Dark Hole can help you gain it right back, because then you can clear the board and attack with Bear next turn.
And then you can bring out a Tinky from his effect. I play Soul Charge. It's really good when you're running all monsters because of all the Tinkies and Tensus. You're always playing monsters. You're always getting them out on the field really fast. And so if those monsters get destroyed, you're going to find yourself with very few monsters. This is a really good way to get board control back, or to even or level the playing field. You could easily go in with this if you have the life points to spare. You could easily go into 3 XYZ summons with this. Let's say Wolf Bark is in your graveyard. Wolf Bark is one of the ones you bring back, and you bring back 4 other monsters. XYZ those 2, and then use Wolf Bark's effect to get the other monster out, and then XYZ that, and now you have board control again, and you have your opponent panicking. Unless they have something in their back row like Bottomless Trap Hole, to where they can just flip it at the end of Soul Charge's effect and get rid of all the monsters you just brought back, and so you wasted life points. So I only recommend playing Soul Charge if you have back row to protect your summons that you're bringing out from the graveyard. I play 1 Book of Moon. It's a good way to get Gorilla's effect going. If they special summon or whatever to get rid of your monsters, Book of Moon that monster, and then use Gorilla's effect to destroy that monster and get a Tiki out on the field. Or it could just be a good way to get rid of that monster that you wouldn't be able to beat otherwise, so you have room to attack with your bear or any other monsters that you have. Forbidden Lance, I play 1 because you have cards, like I'll go into explanation here in a bit. You have cards like Wiretap, Compulse, and everything basically to prevent your monsters from getting destroyed, that you can just bring them back out later on. I'd say that if you wanted to play 2 lances, personally I would say Dress would be a better fit for this build. If you had to add a second lance, I would say go for a Forbidden Dress instead of a Forbidden Lance. And then on to the trap cards. Alright, now in regards to the traps for the deck, I am playing I am playing a really unorthodox build of traps at the moment. I'm playing 1 Compulse, Like I said, it should be pretty self-explanatory. Just it can save your monster, send it back to your hand like the Dark Hole. You do this on your own monster, send it back to your hand if you don't want it destroyed or if you can't afford to have it destroyed. It's just a really good counter card. I'm playing 1D Prison. The reason why I'm only playing 1D Prison is because your back row is going to be constantly filled with the Tinkies, the Tensus, the Gyokos, and you really don't need like too many cards too many trap cards cluttering up your backfield when it could be used for better space for the Tinkies. I'm playing 2 Mirror Forces. Just a good defense card to destroy the monsters when they attack or negate or just stop one of their effects from going off if they have to get the effect by doing damage to you. It is a good counter card. 2 Phoenix Chains, and the reason why I'm playing 2 Phoenix Chains and not 3 is because it goes back to what I said about the D Prison. You don't want too many cards cluttering up there because you don't know how long that chain is going to sit there, especially if the card gets sent back to their hand or back to their deck, and therefore your Phoenix Chain is just spent sitting there, and then you'll have to waste a Mystical Space Typhoon on your own card to clear up space for your Tinkies, and so you want to keep this down to a minimum. 2 is the highest I can recommend for this build. Wiretap, once again, the same explanation, except this one is just good to negate the trap and send it back to their deck. 1 Solemn Warning, pay 2,000 life points to stop the activation of a card that can special summon monsters or just stop the special summon of a monster, period. I main 1 Black Horn of Heaven. It's good just for negating a special summon. It only stops Inherent, right? It only stops summons that summon themselves. If it's an effect that special summons a monster, this doesn't. Black Horn of Heaven does not work on it at all. So that's why I played it 1, because I can't justify 2 in that sense, because there's a lot of effects out there that special summon through card effect instead of inherent summon. So this can stop inherent XYZ and inherent synchro. But cards such as if I use Wolf Bark's effect to special summon a monster from my graveyard, this card will not work on that special summon. Bottomless Trap Hole, limited to 1. Really good for use. If they use Soul Charge or whatever, at the end of the Soul Charge chain, they pay the life points, all the monsters come out, you use this. It can destroy all the monsters, or any effects that bring out multiple monsters, and after the effect resolves, so this and all the monsters destroy, and it's just a good way to keep a high-powered monster from being on the field. And 1 Torrential Tribute, another really good card that can just clear the field and pave the way for more of your monsters, and just keep the field open, and make the game, and basically turn the game level again, even playing field. And then the last bit is my extra deck. Evil Swarm Exciton, number 101, Silent Honor Arc, and Abyss Dweller are the 3 staples that you need to have for this extra deck. I would not recommend playing this build without these at all. Abyss Dweller is really good this format and can stop a lot of graveyard effects. Evil Swarm can just keep the field clear while you maintain 1 monster on the field. Just make sure when you use this effect, you haven't set any magic or trap cards that turn, and so that you can still set before you end your turn. And then Honor Arc, you just take control of one of their monsters, and then if they try to destroy this card, you can discard a material to keep it on the field. 1 Anti-Luminescent Knight. Basically, let's say they decide to try MST one of your back row. During either player's turn, you can remove 1 material when they play a card that targets just 1 card. They play MST to destroy one of your back row, get rid of a material, and it can just, and then you say, no, you get rid of one of your back row instead. Just really good card, really good. I would say it's a staple at this point. I wouldn't go without it. I replaced my Crazy Box with it because it just had more utility. I'm running 3 Tiger Kings. Really good for getting your Tinkies and your Tensus and your Gyokos out on the field quickly. They take, and all these monsters too, since I'm playing 4-axis, all these XYZs are, take 2 level 4 monsters to XYZ. And so it's really good in that aspect. And also when this card dies, if you have 3 Fire Formation spell or trap cards face up on the field, you can send those 3 cards to the graveyard to special summon from the graveyard or the deck.
From
Or-
the deck.
Yeah, to special summon from the deck and just maintain really good board control. Cardinal, almost like Tiger King, except instead of bringing out a Tinky or Tensu on summon, what you do is you can get rid of the two materials on here and choose 2 Fire Formation cards or 2 Fire Fist monsters from your graveyard or field, and shuffle them back into your deck, and then choose 2 face-up monsters or face-up cards on your opponent's side of the field or graveyard and send them back to their deck. It's a really good way to clear the field and pave the way for your monsters to attack, such as Bear. 1 Black Ship of Corn. Basically, as long as that monster has 2100 or less attack, remove 1 material and destroy it, and then they take 1000 damage. Just a really good situational card for something that can pave another card that can pave the way for like Bear or Gorilla or Dragon. Marrowgeist, really good against Shadows and I want to say Satellanites. Basically, you attack a face down card, and instead of it destroying it and them getting their effect by sending it to the graveyard, during the damage step, you remove 1 material from this card, and then you send that monster back inside their deck so that you do not get the effect of that card that you just sent back there. 1 Diamond Dire Wolf. Basically, is discard 1 material, and then 1 Beast Warrior type monster you control. That includes Diamond Dire Wolf itself to blow up another card on the field. So if you don't have anything else, you can blow up this card and then choose one of their cards and blow that up with it. Jin, a really good defensive card, a really good wall if you're trying to buy time to get more cards or to formulate a strategy. If he would be destroyed, just discard a material and he stays on the field. Jin Light Pearl, he's not an effect monster, so he cannot be affected by cards such as Phoenix Chain. So he's just a straight beat stick. Yeah, just a really good, powerful monster, hard to get over. Heartland Draco, if you know they have face down monsters that have special effects that will allow them to get cards from their deck or from their graveyard and special summon them by flipping or sending those cards to the graveyard, and you don't want to attack them, this card will allow you to attack them directly for 2000 by removing 1 monster, by removing 1 material from the card. And Cowboy, in attack mode, you remove 1 material, and it gains 1000 attack, and the monster it is attacking loses 500 attack. And in defense, if you summon it in defense, remove 1 material, and you deal 800 points of damage to their life points. It's just a really good solid. I wouldn't go with anything else in this side deck. Everything is good. And then the next thing that's up is a duel between this deck and the Agents deck.